Hey everyone, it's Rachel from Desert Blossom Crafts. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be learning how to make this cute crochet pumpkin baby hat. This hat is pretty simple to make and we're going to be doing it in a newborn size. This is going to be a part of a fun charity event that I'm doing in the month of September to October, where we're going to be making hats for CareNet, which is a crisis pregnancy center. There's going to be this hat, another basic beanie, and just a few other baby hat patterns available. Right now, I don't plan to have them on my blog. I just plan to have them in a PDF, which will be available for purchase, and 50% of all of that will be going to CareNet. So once the details are all available with that, there will be links in the description box below. I may publish this video before those links are available, so just check in the description box to see if they're there yet. So without further ado, to make this beanie, you're going to need some worsted weight yarn and a G or a 4.5mm crochet hook. They're pretty close. G is usually 4.25. I just couldn't find my G, so I'm using my 4.5 today. For this hat, I used Mary Maxim Starlit yarn, and I really like how this worsted weight yarn worked. It's also really soft, but I'm out of this yarn, so I'm going to be using Lion Brand Jeans for the pumpkin part today. And then really any worsted weight yarn works for the top. This one's Caron Simply Soft. This one is Red Heart Super Saver. So to get started, I'm going to chain 3, and we're going to make 10 double crochets in this third chain from our hook. 1, we're just going back in that same exact loop, 2, 3, and continue until you have a total of 10. And this beginning chain that we have right here does not count as a stitch. It's not going to count as a stitch for any of the rounds. So here we have 8, and we're just going to do 2 more, 9, and 10. You can see that forms a nice round there. So to slip stitch, we're not going to slip stitch in this chain right here. We're going to slip stitch in the top of that first double crochet. And there's our first round, and we're going to pull this slip stitch tight because we're never going to work in the slip stitch. We're going to work in this same stitch that we did the slip stitch in, and then skip the slip stitch when we come back around. So chain 2, again, this does not count as a stitch. We're going to start by working 3 double crochets in the same stitch as the slip stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to work a front post double crochet around this next stitch. So to do this, we're going to yarn over. We're not going to insert in the top of the stitch. We're going to go around the post of the stitch. Yarn over, pull up, and just complete your double crochet like normal. And that's going to be our repeat for this round. So now we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and then a front post double crochet around the next one. So you can see we've worked in this stitch. Now we're going around this stitch. I'll show you that one more time. So make sure you don't go in the top of this stitch that we did the front post. You're not going in that one, you're going in this one for the double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then front post right here. So just repeat that all the way around. You should end with a front post stitch, and then you're just going to slip stitch in that first double crochet, and round 2 is done. We're going to pull that slip stitch tight again. For round 3, chain 2. We're going to make 2 double crochets in the same stitch as our slip stitch. And we're going to do 1 regular, no increase. Then we're going to increase in the next stitch, so 1 double crochet and a second one into the same stitch. And then we're going to work a front post double crochet around the front post. So this time and from now on it'll be easy because the front post stitches will always be into the previous front post stitches. That's going to create that ridge line all the way down the pumpkin. So just repeat this around. increase here, 1, 2 in the same stitch, regular 1 double crochet, increase in the next, 1, 2, and front post double crochet. Again, we're going around that stitch and repeat this around. Once again, we've ended with that front post stitch. We can slip stitch to join and continue with round 4, chain 2. This time we're just going to do 1 double crochet in the same stitch as our slip stitch. Then we're going to increase in the next stitch. So 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Now we're going to work 2 regular double crochets. 1 regular, 2 regular, 1, 2, then increase, 1 and another 1 in the same stitch. And now we can do just a regular front post double crochet around here. And this one kind of counts like the first one of our regular double crochets because we're trying to make sure we don't do any increases in the front post stitches. So you can see we have increase, 2 regular, increase, 1 front post, 1 regular, and that's going to count as like our 2 regular stitches in between the increase. Now we're going to increase again, 2 in that stitch. Now work 2 regular double crochets, 1, 2. So our increase should always come right before that front post stitch. There's our increase. Then we do our front post double crochet, 1 regular double crochet, and this is what you're just going to keep repeating around. So at this point you do another increase, another 2 regular, increase, front post, regular, etc. So I finished this round. I joined just like usual. At the end you should have an increase and then a front post stitch and then your join. And to make sure you did all this right, count your stitches and you should have 40. Now at this point your circle should be 4 inches across. If it's smaller than that, you're going to end up more with like a preemie size. If it's larger, you may end up with like a 0 to 3 month size. Now you can keep continuing with these increases if you want to make the hat bigger. You just have to figure out how to space them out so that you don't have to increase on the front post stitch. Like I mentioned, this pattern is currently only written for the newborn size, but it wouldn't be too hard to figure out the larger size if you want to keep doing it larger. So if you're not at 4 inches, you can always adjust your hook or even the yarn you're using. Like this yarn is just a little bit, even though it's worsted weight, just like the other yarn I used, it feels just a little bit thinner. This is about the right size, but my hat may turn out just a tad bit smaller. It's just barely 4 inches. But from here on out, we are smooth sailing with the hat. We're going to chain 2. It's going to be super simple, just 1 double crochet in that same stitch as slip stitch, double crochet in every stitch until you get to the front post stitch. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then when you get to that front post stitch, just make your front post double crochet into it. And make sure you never miss the double crochet that's right next to that front post stitch. It's going to be right here. So you should always have 7 in between. And just repeat this. This is round 5. You're going to do this round for round 5, round 6, and round 7. And you'll just join at the end of the round like usual into that first double crochet, not the chain 2. So there I've done my 7 double crochet again, and I'm going to do my front post stitch. Just repeat that around and for the next 2 rounds as well. So I've been crocheting and this is my 7th row done, and it's time to do the ribbing rows. So these rows right here, and you can see that this does match up with the length I have here. It always feels like it's not going to be long enough with the ribbing, but then it usually turns out fine. So to make your ribbing, you're going to chain 2 like normal, double crochet in the same stitch as the slip stitch. Then we're going to do a front post double crochet and then a regular double crochet, and we're just going to alternate like this all the way around. So front post and regular. And you can see when you do the front post, you'll have that top of the stitch along the back. So here's where we just did our regular double crochet. We don't want to go around that one. We want to go around the next one for our front post. And then we don't want to work in the top of the stitch we just did the front post in. We want to do a double crochet in the next. And just repeat this all the way around, and it should work out so that when you get to that front post, you're doing a front post in it, not a double crochet. That way we keep that ridge going. At the end of the round, you'll end on a front post along the ridge that goes along the whole hat, and then you'll just slip stitch like normal. And you're going to do one more round exactly like this. So again, regular double crochet. Now our front post stitches will all be in the front post stitches from before. So it'll be a little bit easier to see where we're working, because we're always going to do the front post in the front post, and then the regular double crochet in the regular double crochet. So just repeat that all the way around for round 9, and then we'll just have one more round to finish it off. All right, so comparing the sizes, it does look like this one is turning out a little bit smaller. And if I could go back, I would probably do one more round of the normal even rounds. In the 5 through 7, I would just do 5 through 8. This is where you really can adjust and do what seems right, because like I said, these are both worsted weight yarns, and yet this one definitely came out bigger. But the pregnancy centers I'll be donating these to do need like some preemie sizes, so that's why I'm just gonna go with it for this one. For the regular pattern, I would, for the last round, chain 1 and then single crochet all the way around, but because this one is just a little bit on the short side, I'm going to go ahead and half double crochet all the way around. Again, you can customize, and this is just going to give it a tiny bit more length than if I just did single crochet. So I'm just yarning over and making my half double crochets into every stitch around. No front post stitches on this round, right? We're just working into the tops of those front post stitches. It's going to give it a nice even edge. So at the end of my round, I'm just joining to that first half double crochet. And now I can fasten off, and there is my hat. Of course, the next step is to make our pumpkin stem for the top, and I'm going to put that in a different video, so I will put that right here, or the link will be in the description. Make sure to check out that next. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe so you can see lots more of my videos. Make sure you also check out the ebook for these baby hats as well.